5 o'clock, and we'll begin our Murray City School Board meeting, Murray City School District Board meeting for this evening. We'd like to excuse our board president. She will be here, but will be a little bit late. We'd like to begin by having the Pledge of Allegiance under the direction of our superintendent.
If the audience would please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We've asked Principal Horn to share with us a little bit about.
Actually,
We have to do the next thing. I am so sorry. I get nervous about this assignment. Here we go. So next, we'd like to ask for an approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes that we've?
I move that we approve the consent agenda, which includes the minutes.
Do we have a second?
I'll second the approval on the consent agenda.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Are you ready? We'll let you take it back. You bet.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you for everybody's patience. Next, we'll move into the delegations. We have Longview Elementary here tonight, and Principal Horn, we're going to turn the time over to you. Thank you.
Well, Longview's awesome. Loving working there so far. Basically, we've been working a lot with the PTA, specifically with our Red Ribbon Week next week. We're getting a lot of adults in the building with some eating lunch with your adult and different activities during lunchtime and stuff. So that's one thing a lot of PTA members have been working really hard on. Also, with the pressure of the PTA, to be honest, but I'm excited about it too. We've got things rolling on our fundraiser for new playgrounds. We're in pretty rough shape over there with some of our playgrounds, and I think the whole community is pretty excited about it. I have people coming up to me all the time like, oh, even these grandparents down the street, they bring their grandkids here and they really want, get a new playground going here. So, yeah, the PTA partnerships were going really well, and yeah, I'm excited about some of the things going on. And I think Carolyn?
I think she's here.
Hi, Carolyn. And there's our PTA president. But yeah, that's all I got for you. But it's good to be here.
Thank you. Carolyn, did you have something to present? Yes. Wonderful. We're glad you're here. Thank you.
My name is Carolyn Forsyth, and I'm the PTA president for Longview. And it's a great community, a great space. We have awesome administration and teachers, and it's really fun to be with the kids. I think probably the best thing at Halloween is some girls were trick-or-treating, and they came up to my door, and they opened, they're like, "You're the PTA!" So anyway, it's just a great community that we can have that. And so I have a couple of kids here, Eden, my daughter, and Joe Daly here to talk about some of the things that we've done in the PTA.
Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Hi, my name is Eden Forsyth. We have the best PTA. And I'm not just saying that because my mom promised to buy me ice cream. We do pretty normal stuff like the carnival and the book fair. But the PTA always makes it a little bit funner than normal. This year, instead of Kindness Week, we had a Kindness Month. Some of the stuff we did is we did a service project for Murray, and so we made these scarecrows. And they're really fun. A lot of kids my age enjoyed it. And then the little kids, or maybe we're not at that level yet, they did like little scarecrows at the front desk for Murray Haunted Woods. And for Kindness Month, we also played with dominoes, like at lunchtime, lunch recess, to show how kindness can spread. Like one act of kindness can spread everywhere, and it can just make someone's day. We also did a smile day where we wrote down what makes you smile, and that was really fun. A lot of kids enjoyed it. we also painted these kindness rocks to go. We have this little like rock thing in the front of our school, so we kind of put them in there, and a lot of kids like searching for theirs and like pointing out like, oh, that's mine, I did that, and it was really fun. We also did these posters for our teachers to show how much we appreciate them because their teachers are awesome, and we also did them for other staff in our school because our staff is amazing. They are really appreciated, and a lot of kids love them. So I'll turn the time over to Joe.
Thank you. Gotta sit by mom.
Well, Kindness Month isn't the only thing we did. We also have Red Ribbon Week, which is next week. It's really fun. And this year we will have an assembly with a musician. We did that last year. Yeah, we did that last year. And some high school students come and like from the sports, like the football team and volleyball team was, I think it was last year. And they tell us how to like keep our bodies straight and good. And well, families are welcome to come to lunch one day so we can strengthen our family ties. And Red Ribbon Week is awesome. We also, like every week, usually after lunch, we have we like write down something on like a poster, like the smiley face thing. That was during Kindness Month. It's usually every day, but since Kindness Month was stretched out for a month, it was once every week, which made it a little more special. And yeah, Red Ribbon Week is really fun. I like it. Usually, sometimes we have like a dress-up day. It's fun.
Great. Thank you for coming, and thanks for being brave. That was awesome. And I look forward to noticing the rocks out front next time I'm at your school. Thank you. All right, next we have the MEA. And Christy's here tonight. Thank you.
My name's up there, but it's not on the agenda. No, thank you. We always appreciate an opportunity to share some things that the teachers are doing through our association. And most recently, yesterday, we were invited to be a part of the insurance committee, which we know that's a big focus for the district, and glad to have some teachers that can participate in that and help give some insight from their point of view. We also wanted to let the board know that we took a page out of the district's book, and we have started sending out kind of an educator update, but we're calling it MEA Today, and we're sending that out on the first Tuesday of every month to the members so that we can have more communication and get people involved. And so far we've only done 2, but we're glad to have that as a communication link for our members. And then we also, I just wanted to say thank you for the educator update. Superintendent always puts a great quote at the top. And I don't often hear about it, but this time I had several teachers comment of how appropriate that was and how good the timing was because, and I don't know if you've read her message, but we really did hit the ground running, and you feel like that first term is just go, 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 and then all of a sudden you kind of hit second term and think, am I just spinning my wheels? So several teachers commented that they felt appreciated, and it's always good to know someone recognizes that you're doing a good job. So thank you. We've seen the board out at a lot of fun activities, and just want to reiterate how much we appreciate that, and teachers have noticed, so thank you.
Thank you. All right, and we have, is it Mr. Kaufman for the Murray Association of Administrators?
I just wanted to give a thank you to the board as an administrator. The extra that you guys found to help those ESPs who are not part of that legislative piece, I was counting just in my building, and our building really isn't that big. I mean, I had 14 or 15 people who will be impacted by it, and they have such a huge impact on our school, and I think publicly they don't get that recognition, though you guys do recognize it, and I just wanted to say I appreciate that as administrator because they help me a ton. So thank you.
Thank you.
and then Thane with the Murray Education Support Professionals Association.
I just need a ditto. He took my thunder. Thanks, Earl. Appreciate it. That was my thunder. But no, we truly appreciate the small district. The feel that, hey, everybody's looking out for everybody else, and the board has our backs, in stuff going on. So we truly appreciate that. Love come to board meeting and learning new things, learn something new from Christy, and the update. But it's like, that's a good idea to throw out there to keep involved in our group of people, and a way to communicate back and forth. But so said Earl stole my thunder, but that's all right. I'm happy for it. I'm glad that it's not just us that's noticing that, the administrators are noticing it. Not that they don't, but and teachers as well. But thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, and we have Doug with the Murray Education Foundation.
Thank you. We are kicking off the Angel Tree tomorrow at 6 p.m. at the Fashion Place Mall. They were gracious this year in allowing us to put up a tree in behalf of our students across the district that are in need. And we will have these little nifty tree tags on the trees for shoppers to go and purchase items of need and of wish for some of these students. So we appreciate Fashion Place Mall. We also are working with the Sports Mall, multiple LDS church wards in Murray, a company called Gold Systems, Reach Out Today, which is a nonprofit organization, the Murray Chamber of Commerce, and countless individuals have already contributed quite a bit to help us kick off the Angel Tree for this year. We are expecting some great things, which we need because we have close to 600 students will be supporting this year. And so there is a great need, and there is a lot of very, very generous people out there, I'll just say that, so far that have stepped forward. So we'll be kicking that off again tomorrow at the Fashion Place Mall, beginning at 6 p.m. If those that are able to attend, that would be great. We'll be having some music and dance from student groups at our schools, along with some inspiring messages from the superintendent and from the mayor of Murray. And I'm told that Santa and the Grinch might show up there toward the end, along with Miss Murray. She will be there in attendance. And then we've got some treats and other things. So it's going to be a fun evening, hopefully something that we can build on for future years and become a tradition with the Fashion Place Mall. I think they're a great asset in our community. And as a reminder, MEF is also part of the City Creek Giving Machine this year. So that kickoff will be November the 24th at noon, which is a Monday. So I hope that that's on your calendars if you're able to attend. They will also have several live performances and messages there as well. And then lastly, MEF is also participating as a partner with the Holiday Lights at the Ballpark event that is taking place at the ballpark down in Sandy, or is it? Yeah, Daybreak. November the 29th and December 1st, our folks in Murray that are interested can get discount tickets to that, and a part of those proceeds will come back to the foundation. So we're excited to continue to promote that event as well. And then lastly, we have our Pinnacle Award nominations going out in 2 weeks, along with the pickleball tournament registrations that'll start in about 2 or 3 weeks. So we've got a lot of fun things this holiday season to keep people hopefully engaged and giving, and also in some good positive vibes in the community. So thanks.
Thanks, Doug. All right. And then now's the time to hear from our public. Thank you. We welcome your comments, which are important to us, and please note that all comments are limited to 3 minutes, with a total of 30 minutes set aside for this portion for public comments. Public statements are welcome for new issues, new program policy suggestions, and other issues that have not recently come before the board. During this segment of the meeting, statements are not allowed regarding bidding, contracts, employment or personnel issues, criticism of individual district employees, complaints where other appeals are available, repetition of issues recently discussed in a board meeting, or items which have a separate public hearing. During this portion of the meeting, we ask that the audience refrain from clapping or cheering. When your name is called, please come to the podium to comment, and it's helpful for the board if you would give us your name. And please address your remarks to the board chair. And note that we will not be entering into dialogue at this time. The purpose of this agenda item is for you, the public, to inform us, the board, about your views. And if members of the public have factual questions, staff will be glad to address them after the meeting. So first we have Bo Peely. Oh, and Bo is representing a group, so you get 5 minutes rather than the standard.
Bo Peely. I am the voice of Murray football, so if you recognize the voice. I'm also a Murray citizen, third generation. Murray alumni went to high school there, have our oldest a junior in Murray High School, and my wife might be teaching for the district, so excited. But I'm here to talk about the Ute Conference, specifically to the District of Murray and the need for field space. We used a space this past season, and it was the rugby field, which came at a large cost. And of course, when things come at large costs, we have to pass the cost down to our players and their families. And our proposal this day is we request sitting with you, trying to figure out how we could find a solution to better opportunities to find, whether it's a high school, playing our Saturday games there and utilizing the field on the south end zone, whatever it would take so that we could get the kids there. We do believe that it would strengthen the pipeline of our high school sports, especially where we're such a small pool of players to choose from. It creates a challenge. I know a number of students that have gone to other high schools that are playing, and we're losing out on that talent. We're losing out on that opportunity. And it's the retention because of open enrollment. We just don't want to lose those kids. We don't want to lose. I know it deals with funding as well to our school districts. So I think it's big. And most of all, it's the continuity with the program. You know, a lot of districts or a lot of high schools right now, their youth league plays the same plays, does the same defense, same offense. And Coach Dunn has been very great at being part of our youth program and trying to help us just bolster all these children and getting them ready for that next level. The other thing is the community engagement. One thing that was unique to the high school this past season was when we drove down to Uinta, bus broke down. Some of us parents had to help the kids up there, but we all gathered together and to get them there. And there was a ton of people for a 3.5-hour drive. I was surprised by the representation of the Murray community. And I do believe that as we lean into this a little bit more, we'll bring more and more people together that want to be part of this. And I am part of the Fieldhouse Committee as well, so I know the challenges there, and so we want to work with you guys. So the community engagement, also the education and athletic value that comes with it, what we're seeing and talking to Coach Dunn, and something was just posted today, 28 Murray football players were able to receive the academic honor roll. That's huge because sports just creates a discipline, creates a drive, and they have to have the grades in order to play, which then goes to my next point. Of the 97 student athletes that registered my athlete, only one was ineligible, meaning Coach Dunn was able to create that program to, hey, school first, get your grades in. And I remember being on band, because my son plays for the high school too, that there was a number of times, hey, instead of practice, we're going to study. And I know Coach Dunn is big on making sure that the kids are hitting those grades. And lastly, just the efficient of the district facilities. We want to help. We want to be part of that, if it's policing or if it's, being part of making sure as we rent out fields, and I know that's, might be a problem that we have, whatever we could do to find that solution to help. I had the opportunity this past season to coach the 7- and 8-year-old scouts, and my son alone was able to recruit 4 other players from his school. And I know there's a fire that has started within the community of football, because for years, and I've been part of this program years ago, because of prior movies and other studies, that people have gone to other sports. I believe football is coming back, and I know the things, especially when I was teaching our 7 and 8-year-olds, if they didn't make their bed that day, they had to run wind sprints. And so those are the kind of habits, those are the kind of things that we're trying to instill in these children at a very young age. So then when they get to high school, they're straight A students, and they're doing amazing, which just increases, our viability out there as a school district. And so again, our proposal, we have maybe 5 games a season, and to find a place where we could have those 5 games. So thank you for your time today.
Hey, thank you. And if this is appropriate with Bo speaking on the group, could we just get a raise of hands of who's here with Bo tonight? All right. Thank you for taking the time to come. Appreciate that. All right, and then we'll move on to the report of the board, and we'll start down here with Elizabeth, if that's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, so since our last meeting in October, I've attended a couple things, not too much, it's been a little slow. One thing, I went to the Hillcrest Band and Orchestra concert. They did a really great job. And I just want to also shout out to the Murray Symphony. They joined Hillcrest for the concerts, and they get mentorship through the Murray Symphony, and I think it's a great partnership, and they did such a good job. Another thing I wanted to highlight was I got the opportunity to check out our nail tech program with our CTE program and got my nails done. Which I might sound frivolous, but I really wanted to support those Murray High kids with their program, and a lot of them are planning on being nail techs when they graduate from high school. So if you get a chance, find a high school student who's in it and go book it. It was a really, really nice time. And that's all I have, and I hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. And Cami?
I don't have anything to report at this time.
Okay, thank you. And Jared?
Yeah, Salt Lake County Parks and Recs had their meeting canceled, so we didn't have anything to attend to for that one. I am looking forward to the holiday activities coming up with all the lunches with each school and getting to meet with the staff and visit with them on a personal basis.
Thank you. Jill?
Well, I had opportunity to attend the trunk or treat at one of the elementary schools, and that was really fun to meet the families and be involved with those cute children all dressed up. It was cold, but I survived, and as did the others of us that were there. And also, I just wanted to comment on the opportunity yesterday that I had to attend the Spartan Summit. And that's an organization at the high school where many of the clubs meet together and coordinate their schedules. And it's amazing to me what these students are trying to do and how they're trying to improve the lives of the students they are with in the school.
Thank you. And then I'll just report out on my participation in the Murray Coalition, the Partners for Prevention, and what a great group that is. And it's kind of been pushing the stone up the hill, and we're about ready to start rolling, and it's exciting to see that happen. But it's a coalition of just entities all over the city that are looking at how to support the youth in our community. And it's really cool to see an entire room full of people come together and looking at data and different programs to help with that. I also enjoyed the Spartan Summit and looking forward to all the things the high school has planned with their winter charity. And it's amazing to watch kids lead, and the opportunities that they have to do that through this winter charity is pretty phenomenal. So I look forward to that. And I really enjoy attending the PTA meetings and seeing the magic happen behind the scenes, and there's some really great things happening. And just one thing I wanted to note, Horizon is trying something new to connect their students with their faculty, and they've made trading cards. And it's such a cool thing, so each kid will get a handful of cards, and they're all just random, and they're challenged to try to complete sets. So they want to try to trade cards with different students and teachers to get a full set of, like, maybe all the third grade teachers or maybe all the lunch workers. And I just thought that was a really fun new thing to see. I I really appreciated every quarter we meet with the city council and the mayor and different representatives from the city and our school district to collaborate and go over some different things. And our last meeting was really, I thought, productive, and we're updating some of our interlocal agreements and how we share facilities and what that looks like and who pays for what. And I just think that that's moving in a great direction, and happy to be part of that. And just enjoyed Halloween at the schools. Got to visit a couple and saw some great costumes, and I always love to see what the different school themes are and what the different grade levels do, and fun time to be involved in our schools. And that's all I have for that. And so we'll move into the report of the staff and start with Director Taggart with some project updates.
Well, if you've had a chance to go past the high school and the junior high, progress is really happening. Everything is on schedule up to this point. You know, knock on wood, every time I say that, I kind of hold my breath, but it's going really well. At the high school, we'll start with that. On the first floor, they're starting to do framing on the first floor, the duct work, putting in the plumbing, and so it's coming. On the second floor, they're still putting the metal deck so they can, then they'll pour the concrete floor on the second floor, but they're putting in the decking in and continuing the masonry up to the third floor. So they're basically doing the second floor now with the masonry. They're almost finished out, ready to put the steel in, so then they can put the supports in to take the masonry up to the third floor. We've received some of the mechanical equipment early, and that was a decision we made early in the process to, you know, when we started this, not knowing what tariffs were going to look like and the wait time on certain things, and so we've received those now, and then we have them stored. At the junior high, it is amazing how much has happened in the last month since the last time I reported. They currently have about 150 workers on site every day when they're going. It's just, you know, and so you got a group over here and a group over here. They started the tilt on panels on the gym this week. In fact, they should be able to finish most of that, if not tomorrow, early on to next week. I know they're really pushing hard to get that up because of the weather starting to change, and with the ground getting soft and the crane, they really want to get that in so they can get the crane off of there, the big movable crane. With that, the masons are going to be moving from the classroom wings now over to closer to the auditorium. They've pretty much finished the masonry over on the classroom wings. They'll start putting in the steel structures on that side. So basically, you got the masons on one side, and then steel is coming in right behind them. They're starting to put the deck above the office area. So they have some steel in place over where the office is, and they're starting to put the deck. They'll put more steel in and then continue with the deck. So, yeah, it's, if you haven't been past, it's pretty amazing of how much they've done in the last month. So, thank you.
Thank you. And then a food services update from Gwen. Thank you.
Thanks for letting me be here. I just wanted to kind of give a quick update on some fun things that are currently happening, and hopefully some fun things that are coming in the future that I would like you guys to get on your calendars so that you can join us. But the first thing that we have started this year at two of our schools, Horizon and Liberty, they have started the Fresh Fruit and Vegetables Program. Otherwise known as FFVP. And so what we do, it's an opportunity twice a week to introduce the students to fruits and or vegetables that they normally would not get. So they have had the chance so far to have pink lady apples, English cucumbers, yam sticks, gooseberries, which I really liked, and I thought they would because they're sour. But we didn't get that great of a response. I was really surprised. I thought, oh, all the kids love, you know, Sour Patch Kids. This is just like, but they didn't love that. But they did love the rainbow carrot sticks. A lot of them came back and said, can we have more of those? So that was fun. Italian squash, Jonah Gold apple, Asian pears, and the day before Halloween, we served blood oranges. So I have a really great representative at Charlie's Produce, which is who we use, and she's super creative, and she does all the choices for me. I don't even have to do it. But the other thing that goes along with the program is they have to have a little bit of education about that fruit or vegetable. And so these are just some of the flyers that they see as this goes out, and it's got nutritional data. So like on the blood orange, they are told that the blood orange originated in the Mediterranean in the 18th century. So there's a little bit of history about it, and then what good things it does for their body by eating it. So that's been fun. It does take a little more work than we thought it was going to, but the lunch ladies that are facilitating that are really loving that program. Then the fun thing that I'd like you to get on your calendars is we are going to do Future Chef competition again this year. We are going to hold that Wednesday, February 18th, 2026, from 5 to 9 p.m. at Hillcrest Junior High again. The theme this year is Passport to Flavor, so the student can pick any dish from any country and produce it for us. That recipe submission should hopefully go live sometime next week. So hopefully you'll put us on your calendar and we'll see you there. Jaron, the group wants you to be a judge. So think about that. Talk with Kelly and see if you want to do that, because there's a little bit involved in that. And then if you'll just let me know. One of our leads, the lead at the high school, she's going to be a judge. And then they asked, the team asked me to reach out to Pam Cotter. They said that they thought she would be good. So I've asked Scott, and he told me I could do that. A couple of other really great things. We did have a spend down plan, and in doing that, we provided 8 schools with brand new dish machines. That was quite the process. Scott and I learned a lot about that process, and the maintenance team did all the removal and installation, and they've done a really great job on that. So they need to be commended for that, because that was a big project. And then we provided 4 schools with new ovens, because we had ovens that were dying and catching on fire and burning food and things like that, so they had to go. And then I've mentioned a couple times that we're doing some new menuing, and we're constantly trying to tweak that a little bit to get the students where they're happy with the menu, and also where the employees are happy with the menu. I did a big ask, and I asked them to prepare 3 items a day, and that has not quite gone as well as we had hoped, so we're cutting back there. We've run into an allergy that we thought we had solved, so we were offering pad thai chicken. Of course, that has peanut butter in it. And somebody had a reaction. They didn't realize they were allergic to peanut butter. So we changed to sunflower butter. And I guess we had a reaction today at one of the schools from one of the staff members. So we think we're going to cut that from the menu, so we're going to have to find something else fun to put in there. But some of the fun things that we've done with this menu, chicken tikka masala, chicken yakisoba, a shredded pork torta, green goddess salad, shepherd's pie, which was a really big hit, especially once they realized they could put ketchup on it. So that's kind of where we're at and what we've been doing. And do you have any questions?
I didn't catch the date of that Future Chef.
Wednesday, February 18th.
18th?
Yep, from
And
5 to 9 p.m.
Can you email the details to Jen so she can forward them to us?
Absolutely. Yep. Anything else? All right, great. Thank you.
Thanks, Gwen. All right, we've got Director Dean with a few items here on the agenda, numbers 3 through 9. It's policy season.
Yeah. They just magically multiplied. I don't know what happened. It's not as fun as talking about like food items, though, at dinner time. That's pretty good. So the first one I have for you guys is the positive behavior support plans. You guys have had those to take a look at them as a board. What we just need is an approval from the board that these plans are approved for this year, and so that's each of the schools and what they're doing to implement positive supports for our students, specifically to reduce alcohol use, tobacco use, those things. That's what the money's for, but there's a lot of other benefits with it too. So I don't know if the board has any questions they want to ask me directly after looking at the plans, or if you guys want to approve those plans. So, Board President, I'll leave that to you.
Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the positive behavior support plans.
All right, and is there a second?
I second.
Okay, is there any further discussion on it? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposed? Thank you.
All right, thank you. The next one is our interscholastic sports report. I was going to say athletics in there. And I was like, so this is a report that we're required to have yearly. It is from our high school, and the first tab that the superintendent has opened is our female sports. And so maybe you could just scroll down so they can see what those female sports are. And then I'm going to just pull up mine alongside. So each of those things, we have the number of competitors in each sport. We also have what it costs for that sport, and then it's broken out for each female student. We're required to rate the quality of our facilities, list any special features for those, our practice facilities, locker rooms, and so forth. So this is fairly comprehensive. I sent it over to Brady Smith, our athletic director, to work on this. This is his second round. We had this last year, and we'll bring it forth every year. The second tab on the bottom is our male competitors, and so you can take a look there and see the costs there for the different sports and how they're rating our facilities. The rating of the facilities is on a scale that goes excellent, good, average, and poor. So you'll see that a lot of them are rated good, some are excellent, there's a couple of average. I didn't notice any poor on there. We have to look at distance. Yes?
Drill team is a male sport?
It's got a no.
I know it's got a no, I just have it on,
Yeah, yeah.
on
it
the
just
wrong tab.
Yeah, no, yeah. So it's
But
listed there. and you'll
males can
They can be a part of it.
participate.
Yeah.
They can.
So, and then you'll also see distances for facilities from campuses and those type of things. And so it was interesting to look and see which sports, the cost of which sports are more. I was surprised how much it is to have a golfer, personally, but I don't golf, so the greens fees are expensive, I guess.
What goes into all of the cost? Like, where does that cost come from? Is it from the high school numbers?
It's from the high school
Yeah,
numbers.
it's from the high
fees.
school. So they,
Yeah.
Brady, I'm sure, pulled this off of the spend plans that they turn in.
Okay.
Because these look very the same.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are a couple of things, and one of the things too is we have to, the last tab, calculate a ratio, just is how many sports we have. So we have 11 female designated sports and 11 male designated sports, and you have to have a ratio that can't be, there's a 10% margin there that you have to have it within to be compliant with federal law. And so we are compliant. The other thing to look at, though, is our facilities need to be equitable between the females and the males. And also looking at the funding as far as some of these sports that are both, I had a couple of questions as I was going through this a little earlier when I was looking at golf. It seems like there's a difference between males and females as far as like golf and what is being, well, no, it wasn't golf. There was one of them that's on there. There's one or two that were on there that were, which one was it? Volleyball. Volleyball, yes, thank you. Thank you, Jaron. So volleyball, so that'll be something I'll follow up on just to see like, why is that costing more for?
Volleyball is new for our district for males, so they're probably spending a lot of that on uniforms and stuff.
I think it's actually more in the females, or on our girls volleyball team. I do believe that's because they attend more camps. If I
Okay.
remember from those spend plans, I think that the coach was
Yeah.
having them go to multiple camps, but
Gotcha.
we can dig into those on those spend plans.
Yeah, so there's a couple I want to just look at.
I don't see football on here.
Football should be at the bottom on the male, if you scroll down.
There he is, okay.
Yeah, it's on there. Yeah, thank you. So certainly the board can take a look at this. This isn't something that has to be approved. This is just for the board's information. We're required to present it. As I said, I'll be digging into the numbers a little further, but if the board does have questions that they would like me to ask of our athletic director or our high school administration, I'm happy to do so and follow up on those.
I would be somewhat interested in what percent, so if that's the cost of what it costed us to run that program, what percentage of the money came from our fees in, from student athlete versus what proportion we contributed? Because some of them may be more funded than others, and that would be something I would be interested to see. So I know, like for drill team, if they're not $1,000, but if it was $1,000 times 11 students, then we collected 21, whatever that number
Yeah.
is.
Okay,
I'd be interested to see that.
all right. Any other questions at this time? But feel free to email me, call me, let me know.
Calendar?
We can go to it. Are you ready to move
Yeah,
on?
yeah.
Okay. Just like, all right,
It's
where
like
are
the
we at?
suspense.
Suspense, okay.
Where do we?
So the calendar, the board had a chance to take a look at this in our study session, and so we are bringing this forward for our first reading. On this calendar, it is a 177-day calendar, and so just letting the board know that it would mean reallocating 3 instructional days that would be taken off. This last year, our last calendar, the board reallocated 4 instructional days, so we had 176, so this will be adding on. Of course, this is the 27-28 calendar. So I don't know if the board still has questions regarding this. We discussed it quite a bit. Well, the main thing, there's a couple of things. We have our spring break, which would be later this year, which is probably the big change. That would happen in the middle of April. And then
We get out before
we
Memorial
get
Day,
out
because of
before
how the
Memorial
calendar
Day, so it
falls.
would be the 3 years in a row? Because this year, next year, following year? No, are we not Memorial, not this year, next year?
This year Memorial Day's way early, and so
Okay.
we do not.
So,
Did we have any questions about fall break or anything?
No.
No, I think we covered all of those in our meeting.
Perfect.
okay,
Thank you.
all right. Now to policy, the stuff we love. So we have our educator evaluation policy, and Assistant Superintendent Wahangi was doing a nice job of doing a little tune-up on it. We had some things we needed to change that we had changed in practice, but we hadn't changed in our policy. And then I dug into it a little further and added a few more updates regarding our state code and administrative rule. So there's just a little bit of a rewrite there at the first for our statement of purpose, just saying that the board recognizes and appreciates the efforts of our educators and that we're committed to having high-quality educators in our classrooms, and that we want to make sure we have an evaluation system and process that works. And so that's the essential part right there. A lot of these you're just going to see here going through this first part, just some change of terms instead of a classroom teacher. Was taking that out just because we have people that are licensed individuals. They're not necessarily classroom teachers, and they're evaluated. So wanted to change some terms to make it more correct. So there's just some minor tweaks to the definitions there in that first part. Then going to page 2, some more definition changes. We have certified evaluators, so all of our administrators are certified. They have to take an evaluation course, which they have to pass, and then we work with them, and I think we've determined that every 5 years we'll have them recertify on the evaluation process, and that's a course through the Utah State Board of Education that provides that course. And then one thing that had changed as part of evaluation is they have to have student academic growth goals. It used to be a learning objective, so just tweak that definition. Minimally effective, changed to partially effective. This next part, this short little paragraph, is a joint committee. If we're going to make changes to our education evaluation plan, we're required to have a joint committee. We're not planning on that at this time, But if we did, the board would help select those members if we were going to change our evaluation program. And so we follow the Utah State Board of Education, their model evaluation program. Some districts have chose to make their own, along with incorporating the requirements of the evaluation program. But that's just to let you know that we would have to convene a committee if we were going to do that. So moving on, page 3, there's just some updates to state code rules. All of our educators, if they're provisional, receive 2 evaluations. And the way our evaluations are is we have observations where our administrators are required to go in 3+ times during a semester, and then they sit down for a formal observation with the teacher, or a formal meeting with the teacher after they've had those multiple opportunities to observe them based on drop-ins in the classroom setting. So that's kind of encompassing that part and those changes. And our educators are evaluated on a 4-year cycle. It used to be a 3-year cycle, and that's for their official career summative evaluation. Every year an educator receives what's a formative evaluation. So they have that. It's, I guess I'll call it the abbreviated evaluation, but every 4th year they would have their official career evaluation, except for when you're in your first 3 years of service. Then you get evaluated twice a year, every year, for those first 3 years. Then just what evaluations shall include. Added some stuff there for administrators. Our administrators are required to have employee input on their evaluation, and so we do staff surveys for them. We have a reasonable number of supervisor observations for everyone, and then evidence of their professional growth and student academic growth. Page 4. You can stop me anytime if you need to. I know this is exciting. So the state used to have a rubric where we were rated. There were 4 categories: not effective, partially effective, effective, and highly effective. The state in their model program moved away last year from having highly effective, so they went from 4 to 3. So we followed along, so we have not effective, and then our emerging partially effective, and then effective, even though we know many, many of our teachers are highly effective and our employees are highly effective, but this is how the categories are reflected at this time. And supervisors are free to make notations of excellence on their evaluations. Let's see, moving on to our next page. Couple of notices. So,
Bottom of page 4.
yes, the bottom of page 4, going on to page 5. We have to give a copy of the evaluation instrument to our employees at least 15 days before the evaluation, and notify them of any potential consequences, including discipline, termination, if they fail to meet performance expectations. And some more tweak to the rule. Little changes. Some more from state law. An employee can't advance on the adopted salary schedule if they're rated on the lowest tier of the evaluation. So that's in state law. And then we have another thing that is they can't receive the educator salary adjustment, which is money that comes to our district, which is a good chunk of change for each individual. If they were rated unsatisfactory for 3 years in a row, if they were rated unsatisfactory for 3 years in a row, I don't think they'd still be employed. So I'm not worried about that one. That is out of state law. And then we just have some more things with some minor changes here on if an educator has unsatisfactory performance, how we have to assist them with specific measurable action plans, provide for improvement, and that just outlines that. And I think that about covers it, Superintendent. That should be it.
Great. Then on to the parental and postpartum recovery leave.
Okay.
That was just a first reading, right?
That is just a first reading.
And if the board wants any of these to be put on our study session agenda, just let me know and we can add those on.
And most of these are just be compliant with the changes that have taken place with this policy. So the next one, though, we brought forth to you early on, I believe, August or September, with our parental and postpartum leave. It was a little bit confusing. We did get some help from one of our district attorneys to work on this, to make sure that we have our leave policy correct. Spent some time talking with both MEA and MESPA regarding our policy, and so I think we have a good policy here in place. And so the policy, I'm just looking at, you've got the red line version up?
I've got the red line, yes.
Okay,
So
and that's okay.
I think it starts on yours right where it says purpose, because we just struck them all
Yeah.
together, so.
So what this is defining, and we have to, as I had mentioned a couple of months back, we have to have at least the minimum of what the state has for their employees and what state law requires for the employees in the state. And so what that essentially turns into is 15 days of postpartum leave if you give birth, and or 15 days of parental leave. So for an employee that gives birth, they would have 15 days, 3 weeks of paid postpartum leave. Then they are also eligible for another 15 days, 3 weeks of parental leave, which is 6 weeks of paid leave. So that's the easiest way to look at it. If you're having a child, it's 6 weeks. But if I'm the spouse of a person that has a child, I am entitled to parental leave, and that used to be 5 days in our policy. The district now has to provide 15 days, or if someone adopts a child, it would be 15 days of parental leave. So it's just defining what those are. They do run concurrently with FMLA. So with their FMLA leave, their family medical leave, that does count as part of the 12 weeks they're entitled to if they're an eligible employee. So this goes through. I'm happy to, if this is a first reading for the board, I think we've got our language solidified there. But if the board has questions or sees something that they might be like, well, this seems a little bit confusing.
I just have a question. Can you remind me what it was before this update?
Yes. So if you, and this also includes now our ESPs who were not eligible before.
Okay.
So before, our ESPs were not eligible. And if you were a career teacher, because you had acquired a sick leave benefit of 180 days over 2 years, which is a lot of days, right? They would use those sick leave days. And so they were fine to take the 6 weeks of maternity leave or parental leave. If you were a provisional teacher, though, you were left to your days that you had for sick leave allotted, and they had, like, right now they get 10 days a year. So if you were a brand new teacher and this wasn't in place, you'd have 10 sick days. That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
So this greatly expands the benefit.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, and I think it's great, so,
And I really appreciate the adoptive part, too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we will make a nice, clean, quick sheet for our employees, so they don't have to parse through all the policy language.
All right. Any questions on that one? Great. And then SP 947.
So these next two policies, the first one, SP 947, is our ESP, sick leave and bereavement policy. And this is coming forward because we created this new parental leave policy. We had to make some minor adjustments to our sick leave policies for both the ESPs and for both the teachers. So this first one, there's just some language clarification. That paragraph C is just about sick leave. Paragraph D is just to clarify that that's about bereavement leave, because these are all combined into one policy. D is really the paragraph that was added to both the ESP and the teacher policy. And this one is just, so employees who take parental or postpartum leave, it's just stating that they can't extend their use of sick leave because our ESPs have unlimited sick leave and our teachers have 180 days, well, our contract ESPs, thank you, over, and then they have the 180 days, and it's saying you can't use that sick leave unless there's certain medical conditions, right, a doctor, there's things going on. That's all that's saying is it's just saying you can use your postpartum and parental leave, but you don't get to use your sick leave to extend on. So it's essentially making sure we have a stop. And you'll find the same language in the next one, SP 927. It's the exact same paragraph in both of those.
Okay. Okay, any questions on those? All right, I think that's it for you, Darren.
I think that is it for
Thank
today.
you.
I just have a quick question, sorry. On the sick leave policy, then SB 947 is the education support professional sick leave policy.
Correct.
And 927 is the
Educator.
educator. Okay.
Correct.
So when I look at them, I know which one is which.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Assistant Superintendent Wihangi with a couple things. Thanks, Darren.
Mine are a little less intense than those ones, but we've just got a couple of policy adjustments to the current policies we have in place. And the first one is our instructional materials selection, which seems to rear its head every year. But there's a couple of components on this that we realize weren't on it, but should be on it. And that one is on the second page there, is that we need to make sure when we're adopting instructional materials that those materials are actually available for public view, whether that's online or in person somewhere, and that public view is a certain time period until those have been given an opportunity to, on Part D, have those two public meetings. Typically, those are board meetings where patrons can make comments about the materials that are going to be adopted, and then, of course, those have to be approved by the board. So that component there in the red is the only component that really was put into this, back into this policy, other than the one word change where we specify that it is curriculum materials, so not materials that are not curriculum-based. So programs, those include things that are online, apps, the textbooks, and so forth. So this is, again, a first reading. Feels like a 30th reading, but yeah, a first reading of this policy. Any questions on that one? Okay. The next one, we did not really add anything to this one. This just clarifies on our early graduation. So for many years, early graduates from the high school, if they graduated at the end of their junior year, they were eligible for a Centennial Scholarship. This was a partial scholarship that was provided by the Utah System of Higher Education. That no longer exists, and it hasn't for a few years. So we've just struck that part out of this policy. The Opportunity Scholarship is the scholarship that replaced that, but the Opportunity Scholarship has nothing to do with early graduation. That's more about academic achievement. So we've just removed this part from the policy, and that was it. So, any questions on that? Okay.
All right, then next we've got our business administrator with our fraud risk assessment.
Now we get to the exciting stuff. As you may recall, the board approved a fraud risk assessment questionnaire in August. That was for the prior year, fiscal year 25. The state auditor's office requires that this risk assessment form be completed every year. So as a matter of form, we are presenting this fraud risk assessment for the current year, FY26, for your approval. It's same numbers as the prior year. Based on the assessment, we are at a low level of risk. And this is a form that is needed. We need to have board approval, and it's something that the auditors, as part of their audit procedures, are required to review each year. So I would just request that the board, if you have any questions, if not, that there be an approval of this risk assessment.
All right, does anybody have any questions about it?
Oh, do you want me to keep scrolling? Sorry.
Why are we only 350, Rich?
Because we're not 355. We're 5 short of really extremely low. But that's a good question, though. I mean, the challenge that we face as a smaller district is internal controls and the number of people that we have to manage the processes. So it's a bit of a challenge because we can't have separation of duties as much as we would like. So that kind of leads to the issue of our not being in the extremely low risk category.
May I just ask a question on question 5 here? It says, have all governing body members completed entity-specific training? Have we not done that? I thought we did that.
I watched my videos.
I did my videos.
Training auditor within 4 years of term. Yes, well, I mean, we've done, well, certain training. The board has with the audit committee and internal controls. So I'm not sure if I just missed checking that or.
Because that was one of the things, I mean,
Right.
that we checked on a few board meetings ago to
Right,
make sure we had
right,
all
right.
completed that
So
training.
I'm not sure whether I just missed checking that box or not. I'll go through and re-look at that, but thanks for asking. But either way, we're in the low or very low category.
If we adopt this one today and it turns out that that could be updated, do we just bring it back and adopt the new one?
I would say we could just adopt it pending review of that, and if that's another 20 points, then, I mean, we can bring it back if you'd like, or whatever the board prefers.
Well, that moves us to 370, which means we're very low. So, good job, everybody completing their training.
So let's do this. I'll look at that. If we need to bring it back, I'll just put it on the consent agenda for the next time.
Do we need it for the auditors for their audit report in December, or no?
No.
Okay.
No, the one in August will suffice for that.
And number 8 on here says the internal audit. Does our audit is an external audit? We don't have
Right.
an internal audit?
Because of the size of the district, we are not required to have an internal auditor function.
Okay.
Okay. So we won't vote on that one tonight, and we'll move down to superintendent.
Okay, I was feeling left out in the policy department, so I decided to take one myself, too. So tonight, I am presenting for a first reading PS 438, which is currently called Home-Centered Education Policy. The homeschool laws have been changed the last couple of legislative sessions, and so we needed to update ours. One of the things I'm proposing is we call it the Homeschool Education Policy. A lot of people go to try and find this and don't. Home-centered, I think that was what it was originally called back when it was developed in 2015, but I thought that might be a good way to do it so it's easier for our patrons to find what that is. Utah code has changed. It used to be that they had to do a notarized annual homeschool affidavit, meaning every year they homeschooled, they had to do that annually. It had to be notarized. And then there was an exemption certificate that we had to mail to them. That has changed, so this is consistent with Utah Code 53G 6204, which says if a parent or legal guardian chooses to homeschool a child, that they are solely responsible for selecting the instructional materials, for choosing the time, place, and method of instruction, and for the evaluation of the homeschool instruction. So the district does not have any part of that. It also states in that code, which we're updating in policy, that as a local school board, we cannot require a parent or legal guardian to maintain records of instruction or attendance, require credentials providing for those people who are providing homeschool instruction. We can't inspect the homeschool facilities, and we cannot require standardized testing or other testing for homeschool students. If a homeschool parent or guardian requests, We can give them what we believe the knowledge, skills, and competencies that a student is recommended to attain in that grade level to assist them. When a parent withdraws a school-age child from a school for the purpose of homeschooling, they have to provide a one-time initial notification to the district. So it's no longer annually, it is one time, and we do have a form that they complete online to do that. And then we are required in number 5 to, notification is not required, if they have done this prior to May 7th, 2025, when the law changed. So if they had been doing the annual notarization, they don't have to do it again. We have all of that. So this is just saying, if they have already done this prior to May 7th, we have the database of that. So they don't have to send the one-time notification in again. It doesn't restart. And then number 6 is when we as a district receive that notification, that they are intending to homeschool, we will maintain a record of that. Currently, that is done by Kristen Davis. And then we acknowledge receipt of that. And because we have an online form, it automatically sends to the parent that we have received that, and it sends them a copy acknowledging that. And then it also states in our policy as well as in state law that a parent or legal guardian who chooses to homeschool, that at that point, Murray City School District is not responsible or liable for any of the education services of that school-age child, which includes special education services. So those are the changes that are being updated to PS 438, and again, all based in kind of law changes. Any questions? This is just a first reading, but any questions?
I did, so they don't have to do anything if they don't start in the public school. If they just start homeschooling from kindergarten on, then they don't need to do.
If they live within our boundaries and they have a school-age child, they need to notify us that they're homeschooling.
Okay.
How do we get notified that there's a school-age child if they've never enrolled?
Well, that is on the parents, so we don't go out and check, so.
That's the only thing that scares me here is that kids could very well get lost because there's no notification required.
That is correct. So that is a parental right in the state of Utah. So it is incumbent upon the parent letting us know, parent or legal guardian letting us know.
Okay.
Great questions. All right, if there's no further questions on that, I then have 2 TSSA amendments, the Teacher Student Success Act amendments. The first one is for McMillan Elementary. And so McMillan Elementary, in their TSSA plan that was approved, they have been having a family literacy night, but they've had a challenge reaching out to the families that they really wanted to, especially the guardians of some of maybe their higher risk students during the event. So they decided this year, as they talked about it as a building leadership team, to incorporate their family literacy education with parent-teacher conferences, where they had more of an opportunity to visit with those parents, and it helped them to reach more families. So in their TSSA plan, they had set aside money to pay stipends for teachers to come and help with family literacy night, which they no longer need that because they're now doing it as part of parent-teacher conferences. However, due to the new way that they're doing this, they have a greater need for supply money to provide resources for home learning activities. So they've been giving them literacy packets to send home. And so the TSSA amendment for McMillan Elementary is they are asking to approve a transfer of $1,750 from family literacy night stipends to family literacy supplies. So it's a change from paying an employee to paying for supplies, which that would then increase their take-home literacy supplies from $2,000 to $3,750. So it's not, it still goes along with their goal, it's just reallocating it to move it from stipends to supplies. Do we want to vote on this one individually, or would you like me to do the TSSA amendment for Murray High School as well? Go ahead? Okay, great. Let's do the TSSA amendment for Murray High School. So Murray High School, their TSSA amendment, there we go. Okay. They are looking to, and this goes along with their school land trust amendment, which I will do after this. They needed to adjust some things, so when they were calculating amounts for most of that was really loud. Most of our TSSA and school land trust funds are used on people because that's how we're using them to help support our students in a lot of different areas. It came up that the cost was more than expected at the high school, and so they needed to reallocate some things to make sure their school land trust funds did not go negative. And they did a good job of looking at that. So says the first one, they've got kind of 4 parts here. They want to move Murray High School's instructional aid that works with the ESL population in their math department to TSSA. So it's been in school land trust. They're going to move it over to TSSA funds. They also want to move 2 periods of the ESL study hall class from school land trust to TSSA. They are seeking to amend the increase in the stipend for their PD coordinator, so that would be the person that's coordinating their professional development, from $1,000 to $2,000. And that is because this year Murray High School is going through the accreditation process, so they're having to take on more than they have in the past. So this is likely just a 1 year. Next year in their plan, it'll go back to $1,000. And then they're seeking an amendment to increase the stipend for their website manager from $3,500 to $4,000. We are moving to a new platform. I think we've talked to you about that. We're moving to Smart Sites. Doug has done a great job of setting that up, but the high school is probably the largest website with content that needs to be moved. And so, in fairness to their website manager, they'd like to increase that stipend. So those are the 4 areas that they are seeking an amendment. They've got that down there. Both of these, both the McMillan and the Murray High School amendments, TSSA amendments, did go before their community council and were passed. So, do you have any questions that I can answer for you on those?
Seems like we've had a lot of those changes this year.
Yeah, we have. We're working really hard to get better at staying under that 10% threshold in school land trust. It's always tricky because when you're figuring out how much people cost, there's a lot of moving parts in there. And then when we do, if you recall, we do our land trust budgets and our TSSA plans before typically we have the compensation for the next year completed. So then sometimes that throws it off because we want to give people more, but then it costs more and then it changes things. So yeah, very fair. That's a good assessment. Okay, if there are no other questions, then, Board President, I would ask for a motion to approve the McMillan Elementary and the Murray High School TSSA amendments.
All right, is there a motion?
I move that we approve the TSA amendments for both McMillan Elementary and Murray High School.
And is there a second?
I second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? All right, they both pass. Or
Great.
That one motion passes.
Great, thank you. I will let both of those administrators know. The next one is there is a school land trust amendment from Murray High School. So again, this kind of dovetails with the TSSA amendment. And so on here, I think I've got it highlighted. All right, so it goes down here where they are provide 22 periods of ACT prep, AP, concurrent enrollment, ESL study hall, STEM, to help lower class sizes. They had allocated in their school land trust budget they had allocated $182,000. They're moving some of that back into the school land trust budget, so increasing it to $215,000. At the same time, they are coming down here, that instructional aid that we just talked about in the TSSA plan, they're pulling it out of school land trust except for $6,118 because that has already been paid out. So we don't want to do a journal entry and transfer that. That is something that's already been paid to an employee. They're taking what it will cost for the rest of the year out and moving it to TSSA. So originally in their plan, they had planned for $60,000. So that is now being changed to $6,118. And then down here, if you scroll down, it's just going to balance it out so that they will not have a negative carryover, which we always don't want a negative carryover, which makes their estimated carryover, if everything goes well, $7,290. So that is in with that 10% threshold that we're trying to stay under. A lot of moving parts there. Any questions I can answer for you on that? Okay, then I would ask for a motion to approve the school land trust amendment for Murray High School.
All right, is there a motion?
I move that we approve the school land trust fund amendment for Murray High School.
Is there a second?
I second.
All right, any further discussion?
The
All in
only thing
favor?
that I
Oh,
do say is that I do appreciate that they're making these adjustments prior to us getting in a negative position. So
I will let
we
them-
appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? All right, that passes.
Great. That will now go to the School Land Trust Administration for their review and approval, so we will get that sent in tomorrow. And with that, I would like to request a closed session to discuss personnel and property.
All right, Jaren?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Kemi?
Yes.
And Elizabeth?
Yes.
All right,
Great.
thank you. And small recess? Before we do that.